yes, I came back again. You know, I can always tell when I'm not done something because I pace around, trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing, and yet no clarity on what I'm supposed to be doing. What did I do? The last posting I called All She Wrote. That's not all I wrote. Even when I wrote that chapter, I wrote that almost a full year ago now, just before I posted this book. Homecoming. Like days before I went to hit publish, I put a post and said, that's it, that's all I wrote. That's not all I wrote. And that's not all I intend to do in this life. I didn't come here to walk away. I know that. I know that. I can walk away from the biblical era. Hell yeah. I can walk away from expectations about this time. Been there, done that. I can even walk away and enjoy life from a way more beautiful state of being, knowing that my soul has accomplished what I came here to do. Yeah, of course I can. But I still came here in this lifetime to help the world move forward. And I guess that includes helping myself move forward as well. Which brings me to the only last thing I wrote in this book. Now, the interesting thing about today, that the last few days, this last week has been like this craziness of coming on here thinking that I'm done, then being told I still have more work to do, and then coming back and saying, okay, there, that's it, now let me go. Almost like I'm being tortured or something. I'm not. It's like a higher calling of my own soul saying, Lauren, you came here to finish this, now finish it. Fair. Okay, so the very last thing I did write is acknowledgements. And so I started telling you that I'm back here. It's actually summer solstice tonight, which of course reminded me that 10 years ago I was in the valley. Wondering how I'd ever get on the other side of this. Apparently I'll get on the other side of it by reading all I wrote. The Final Acknowledgements. Endings and new beginnings can be very difficult to navigate. No shit. Personally, I've been searching for the perfect ending to articulate the last 70 chapters of my life. I'll start with some clarity. Looking back, it is very, very evident I had no idea, like zero idea, what destination I was embarking on. Yet somehow, I still managed to arrive. Perhaps not always gracefully, but officially here, within our divine appointment in time. Nonetheless, I think that's a beautiful metaphor. I do. I think it's a beautiful metaphor for life in general. Even though we may not always know where our journey will take us, or how we will get there, or what the destination will eventually look like. The more, yeah, I know, I didn't know. Gets me choked up thinking about it, but I didn't know what my final destination would look like. And I still don't know that. The more important aspect of our soulful adventure is simply to begin with that in mind. I've included merged accounts of my story by joining first and last random chapters within my books to summarize and commemorate the official completion. God, I hope so. The official, I mean it this time, completion of my biblical adventure. There were many significant milestones within my own SOULworks journey to have finally arrived at this exact moment in time. And I strive to honor that process of inner and outer transformation, as well as everybody that was on that path with me, by the way. Okay, however, I would not be the teacher and messenger of change that I am if I didn't also take this perfect opportunity to point out the obvious. Extracting mere fragments of someone's story, inserting them after the fact, deleting what doesn't fit to your liking, while interpreting the remaining context at will is by no means understanding nor seeing the entire depths or story of any one particular individual, their soul potential, or even the accumulative whole of our collective potential and awakening, for that matter. Which is why I am thankful to have documented my recent entanglement with the biblical era from the onset. Oh my gosh, I keep jumping ahead. Just a minute. Which is why I am thankful to have documented my recent entanglement with the Bible era from start to finish. Even if I didn't realize the depths to my own story from the onset. Truth. It is also why I further amalgamated all 3 books into one publication, while halting any further production of my original versions. Simply because only having access to some of my story and original interpretations is by no means even close to encompassing how my life eventually unfolded, not to mention my own inner growth and clarity while submerged within our transformational time. Likewise, only viewing my ending does not even begin to tell the full and very eventful adventure I journeyed to get here. I think that is true for all of humanity. I do. Looking at where we are today, or even where we have been in the past, holds no bearing to what we can accomplish and achieve moving forward. Nor does it include all the background details and soul works that occurred behind the scenes to arrive at this very moment in time. That is a higher, authentic truth worth remembering. 1 second. Okay. My SOULworks Trilogy Homecoming contains 777 pages, if you can imagine, of mere fragments to my story. And I have to tell you, I didn't do that on purpose. When I plugged everything that I wanted to into this book, that's just what it ended up being. That's interesting in itself, because my guides told me years ago that alignment would begin at 777 and that balance in my own world would begin. Crazy accurate, hey? Okay, anyways, I digress. My homecoming contains 777 pages of mere fragments to my story, yet technically will never encompass all that I wrote. Nor does it even begin to come close to articulating the depths of what I have and will experience in my lifetime. Please always keep that in mind when passing judgments or interpretations on anything that crosses your path within our global landscape of life. Our individual and collective stories are never done. That's a good thing, by the way. We always have the opportunity to write a different ending. We do. Or start a new beginning within our infinite timeline and classroom we call life. To move into a new era of time, beyond the old doctrines and understandings, we must always leave ample room for further awareness, clarity, evolution, and the official arrival of divinely inspired grace. I leave you, maybe, we'll see, for this moment in time, I leave you with my poetic summary of random excerpts contained within my trilogy. Perspective is everything. Have you ever had one of those moments when time stands still? This story is about hope, wherever that journey may be. For the first 3 decades of my life, I did not really have a clear understanding of my abilities. I am forever grateful that you gave me the opportunity to find and let my light shine. Looking back, there were plenty of signs showing me a world that I could only dream was possible. We only need to open our hearts, minds, and souls to allow the experience in. I would like to expand on my concept regarding our thoughts creating our reality. Believing is seeing. Becoming more attuned to spirit takes time and practice. I do my very best to always see the good in everyone, to not pass judgment on any one person's soul energy based on their current personality, awareness, or state of being. And I remind myself continuously that everyone comes from Source. So everyone has the capacity to live within the full potential of their own divinity. they knew what they were signing up for a long time ago. Those words were my saving grace. When I was much younger, I was always one to follow my inner calling and intuitive adventures. Later, I would also discover the merger of the two characters, as well as the written word being in unison with my own personal experiences, was merely a trial run and foreshadowing of what was yet to come. Eventually, full gnosis is achieved at every single moment of every single day, as our soul energy becomes an active and consistent part of all that we think, say, and do. It was like coming home and finally being accepted into the fold. As I put the finishing touches on my book, I was finally able to release most of my fears, most of them, while finding pride and closure in my work. Within those celebrations, I've come to the conclusion that surrendering to your life path is not an act of giving up. It is an inner understanding that involves making peace with and fully standing within your own soul works, regardless of where, when, or how others also choose to stand. To be honest, I am way more afraid to remain in the shadows without having the courage to step forward, oppose the traditional Jesus story, acknowledge the end of an outdated era, and welcome the new beginnings of higher consciousness and help lead the world towards our individual and collective potential. My wish for myself and all others is to move forward with divine blessings and grace. Thankfully, and despite the backlash, my heart holds steady. It does, it holds steady within the bigger picture of our collective potential, providing the full faith and courage needed to accept my life path and officially cross the road. Why did that chicken cross the road? Because she was guided to. It was at that divine appointment in time I finally gave myself complete permission to jump into the pool and start living my life. My mind and the collective mind are constantly railroaded with society's beliefs, mindsets, and opinions well beyond what any one human can currently comprehend. I would clear myself from the debris, be my own voice, walk away from all situations that were not for the highest good of everyone involved, and rise from the ashes. I just consciously learned how to stay within my own vibration of love, hold my own, and let my energy field speak for itself. Free will being the deciding factor, changing the course of history, and creating new pathways towards our individual and collective reality. Once we learn how to follow our own heart and soul path, There is not one of us living within this divinely synchronized world that needs a backup plan or the opinions of others vying for attention within our own soul works. Love yourself enough to be the change for both yourself and generations yet to come. I am. I am. Most importantly, I have freed. I have found the secrets hidden deep within my soul and officially set them free. And so, my friend, is the higher truth of your own divine, unique essence held within. The timeline is already in motion. Change is underway, and there is officially no going back. Despite what the world might look like right now, huge transformations are already underway. Huge. Many enlightened souls are consciously created change each and every day. And it's officially time to come together and celebrate what we have already achieved. I will extend a heartfelt cheers and provide you with the honor of walking your own unique path with the full knowing and clarity that not only do I see and believe in you, but that I will eventually welcome you onto the other side of this glorious, expansive journey we are forging together. I look forward to stepping into our personal and collective new chapters yet to come. P.S. Isn't it truly an amazing grace when the divine counterpart of our own soul essence arrives at the exact moment we first and finally believed in ourselves? Today and always. Today and always. I acknowledge, honor, and give thanks to the infinite, amazing grace held within all peoples. That divine inner warrior and reflection of all that is. A spark of light that can never be removed, suppressed beyond recognition, or given away. Genuine to the core of my authentic soul works, while still honoring my individual and our collective contributions to this divine appointment in time. I acknowledge the infinite grace within myself and all others. Thank you. Thank you for calling and leading me home. I mean it. Thank you. Homecoming. I'd say we've arrived. Thank you.